Hello, sixth graders. Today is going to be even easier than yesterday's math lesson because today we're reading and writing small numbers. So we're going to have to add all those zeros like those trillions the day before. But so we're going to be working with a lot of the numbers that are after the decimal, or I should say before the decimal. Here's my example. So before the decimal is what I meant. I apologize. So we're going to be dealing with everything to the right of the decimal. As soon as you are finding those place values to the right of the decimal, it always ends with a TH. And this is where I want you to be careful. To the left of the decimal, you have the ones. To the right of the decimal, you start with the tenths. Kids always think it needs to be like the oneths or something. Guess what? It's never going to happen. It's always going to be with the tenths. Then you have the hundredths, thousandths. Then you have 10,000s, 100,000s. Then you have the millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. It's going to be some tongue twisters today. It's a lot of fun. Let's keep going. So we're going to build a new numeral. Let's take a look. You're going to see some stuff like this in your assignment today. So you're going to put a 9 in the thousands place, a 4 in the tenths place, an 8 in the ones place, a 3 in the tens place, and the 6 in the hundredths place. So whenever I see a problem like this, I normally just put some spaces out there, just so it's easier. I'm going to put a couple spaces here. I'm going to put a nice decimal so I know it's a decimal, not a comma. I'm going to put a few more places here. And then I just kind of plug them in. The first one is 9 in the thousands place. This is the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. I'm putting a 9 there. I'm going to cross this off just because I know it's done, make myself feel better. A 4 in the tenths place. Tenths, hundredths, so my 4 goes in the tenths place. An 8 in the ones place. So here's my decimal. It's going to the left because it doesn't have TH on it. An 8 in the ones place. A 3 in the tens place. Remember, has no TH, so it's to the left. A 3 in the tens place, a 6 in the hundredths place, which should be right there. Keep that in mind. Anything to the right of the decimal ends with THS. Anything to the left doesn't. Next one. I'm going to put some spaces out there again. Nice decimal. Now, I show you this, so hopefully you do it as well. That's the whole point. I don't really need that, but as long as you think I need it, and I know you need it, it will help you out. 3 in the tenths place. That should be right here, the tenths. I'm putting a 3 there. 6 in the 10,000ths place. Well, let's take a look. Tenths, hundredths, thousands. Ooh, 10,000 is right there. We're putting a 6 there. 4 in the hundredths place. Tenths, hundredths. Remember, TH to the right. Put a 4 there. A 0 in the thousandths place. TH. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Putting a 0 there. And a 1 in the ones place. As you can see, we didn't need this space. We can just erase it. So how would I read this number? 1 and, decimal means and, 3,406 10,000ths. Wow, that's a fun number to write, okay? Or to read, I should say. Write the following numbers in words. You're probably wondering, how do we do this? Watch closely. This is an 8, so I'd start with an 8. Oh no, you kids are going to be checking my spelling today. Tenths, because that's what place value it is. 8 tenths. Super easy. Next one. So now you read it as 95. 90. Forgive my spelling if I spell a word right. 95. And then we have tenths, hundredths. 95 hundredths. So you always, the word that you write here is whatever the last number is to the right, the furthest to the right. Here's our next one. And I'll read the number out loud so you can see it. 0.05. So we have to write that. So let's take a look here. So you're not going to really say anything about this 0 before the 5, but you'll read the 5. So you'll read 5, and then what place value it is. This is the tenths. This is the hundredths. Let's take a look at this one. 0.067. Remember, we're not doing anything with the 0 right now, but we have to remember this place value. So you write 60 7, and this is in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. Let's take a look at this one. We're at 4.0802. Keep in mind, if we have a decimal in it and we have a number before the decimal, we have to respect that number. So it's 4 and that's what represents that decimal, right? Remember, we don't do anything with this 0, but we have to keep that one in mind. 802 tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths. That was a fun one. Can we get a harder one? Ooh, look at this, bamboo. Write a decimal place value in each blank space. Bamboo grows at a rate of about, look at all that, 0.00004 or 4 what kilometers per hour. Well, let's take a look at that huge number. 0.00004. This is our tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths. So it's 400 thousandths. Oops. Hundredths. Oops. I didn't write that right. 100 thousandths. Probably wondering, how did I do that? I just took tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths, and then guess what? It'd be millionths next. Let's take a look at this next one. The average speed that a certain brand of ketchup, why is that called ketchup? Anyways, pours from the mouth of the bottle is about 0.003 or 3 what miles per hour. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Ketchup and catsup are simply two different spellings for the same thing. I googled that for you. Catsup. I don't think I would eat catsup on my hot dog or brat. That's disgusting. I'll have tomato ketchup. Maybe that's what I'm used to. Anyways, we got a sloth here. It says, write a decimal place value in each blank space. A three-toed sloth moves at a speed of 0.068 to 0.098 or 68 blank to 98 blank. I'm going to put the 0.068 here on this side. I'm going to put the 0.098 on this side. Let's take a look here. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So 68 thousandths. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Thousandths here. I'm hoping I'm going through this slow enough, but not so slow where you're bored out of your mind. But if you just take your time and don't skip a place value, you should get the problem right every time. As I say that, maybe I made an error. Hopefully not. Let's go through this again. Quick little refresher. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, 10 billions, 100 billions, trillions, 10 trillions, 100 trillions. Expanded notation. So this is simply just like before, but we're adding and multiplying easier numbers. This is what I mean by this. This will be 9. The number is 0.972. So how would I write this in expanded notation? 9 times 0.1, because the 9 is in the tenths place, plus 7 times 0.01, plus 2 times 0.002. That's how you write the expanded notation with smaller numbers. Here's our next number. 3.041. The good thing is we have a 0 in there, so we don't have to count that. We got a 3 before the decimal, so you have to honor that 3 times 1, right? plus we don't have to do anything with the 0, but we have to honor it. 4 times, looks like 0.01 is the 4, 0.01, and then plus 1 times 0, or 0.001. That's expanded notation for 3.041. Expanded notation, here's the number, 57.2. So how do you write that expanded notation? We have 5 times 10 plus 7 times 1 plus 2 times 0.1. That's your expanded notation right there. Fraction or mixed number. Kids, you're going to see the number 0.972, and you're going to be like, how do I put that as a fraction? This is like probably the easiest thing I'll teach you all year, so watch very closely. You're taking a look at this number. How would you read this number? We've been doing this. It'd be 972 thousandths. How do we know? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. All you have to do is put 972 over 1,000 because it's 972 thousandths. So what this means is 972 over 1,000. Let's do another easy one. We have 57 and 2/10. Fraction or mixed number. So here, we're not going to put that over a fraction. So we're going to put a big 57, it's a mixed number, and 2/10. 2 over 10. Super easy. Next one. 3 and 41 thousandths. How did I do that? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Big 3, 41 thousandths. Put a 41 over 1,000. You're not obviously going to put the 0 there because that would look weird, so don't do that, okay? It's 41 over 1,000. All right. That is today's math lesson. You're going to see a lot of numbers like that today, but once again, it's just like yesterday's math lesson. Place value is important. You have to make sure you're looking at the correct thing. Anything to the right of the decimals with TH, thousandths, it starts with tenths, and anything to the left starts with ones and it works their way up. Hopefully this helped you with your math lesson today, and good luck.